Speaking freedom. Speaking freedom. Giving you the answers to be free. Be free. Be free. 'Cause we're speaking freedom. And we're live online with Kaci.
Like many police departments, it would be a really interesting shift to happen in certain cities. Rick, those are three things I got for you. Y'all can hit me at Just Nate.
Okay, so he was just talking about the immunity law that exists for the police department, and I've already done a video just last week about the things that's needed to change and how the immunity problem is not just a police department problem. But the other thing that he said that made me actually hit record at the end was that he said right now, I guess a whole lot of people that don't want to be vaccinated are quitting the police force. And he said it makes it an opportunity for people to join the police force to try to change the face. I just want to say that and then give you an opportunity to think about what it means to change the face only. He said to change the face of the police force. And I press record because changing the face of the police force doesn't actually change the things that need to be changed. It doesn't change the core of the policing system. You can change the faces all you want. Just like you change the president as often as we do. But unless you change the structure, the systematic structuring of policing and the laws surrounding policing, there is no real change. You can it's almost like you get a certain company. If you buy a business or get into a business or you ever work for a company and they make changes to the company structure during the course of you being there. I remember I worked for MCI, and during my time at MCI, they had, went belly up. And what I learned in that process is that when you change the structure of a company, sometimes you have to change the whole company in order to change the structure. You can't change the face of something and then the old system is still in place. Because even if you change and let's say you get a whole bunch of black people to work there, if they gotta abide by the same rules that the old white people or the other people that wasn't doing right gotta abide by, then they'll get caught in the crosshairs between litigation, the functionality of the operation, and their moral values and structures. Because guess what? Most police officers don't go to police school as bad cops. Being a bad cop, being excessive force, being a person that does any type of criminal activity or dirty deeds or looking out and all of that is still there. And guess what? If you go into that system as a new recruit and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change this station. And guess what? That station will change you. So, it's cool to say if you ever thought, you might not want to be a cop, but you could change the face. Changing the face does not change the core. It's almost like bitches going to get cosmetic surgery. You can listen, the things that are wrong with my face, the things that I find flaw in, I can change cosmetically. But if I have not built myself up emotionally, in my self-esteem, then changing the face will not change my self-esteem if I'm not already confident. You know what I'm saying? Changing the face doesn't change the core of my heart. So many bitches go get their body done, and then they soul still sour, still weak. They still, ain't really taking accountability or responsibility for their lives and their choices, but they'll change the outward appearance so you won't see how fucked up they really are. You know what I'm saying? You won't see they really skinny as fuck. You won't see. They want to trick you by changing the outward appearance without changing the core. And if you go and get cops that just want to be the change that they think that they need, you'll do more damage than you'll do more good. And it's unfortunate to say that, but again, the immunity system problem is not just the qualified immunity with police officers. Basically, the immunity system allows for anybody that works in government to do whatever the fuck they want to, as long as you cannot prove that they did something wrong. The minute that you can prove that they did something wrong, the police officers still wouldn't be held liable. The government entity in which they work for would be. Unless a police officer get fired, you cannot sue them personally. Unless a government employee gets fired, in most cases, you cannot sue them personally. This is why it's a problem trying to take down bad presidents or bad politicians in general. Because guess what? There's immunity for so much shit that you got to really have the proof to really be able to prove that you experienced some type of constitutional violation in order for them to waive their immunity. Now, they have the power to waive their immunity. The likeliness of it happening is very slim to none. So the way to really reform America, because we don't reform the police department without reforming the city laws. You don't reform the city laws without reforming the state laws. You don't reform the state laws without going and reforming and reconsidering the federal laws and even the Constitution. I was listening to a video the other day that said that what we know now is a Constitution. There was one Constitution and they made the second Constitution, in which the second Constitution kind of gave a covering for Black people, but it did not eliminate the original laws that were in place. And a lot of the problems that we see is that you see amendments to laws instead of going and rewriting the law and making it the law that it needs to be, where you don't need to quote 15 amendments to one law, because the law already doesn't equal liberty for everybody. So I didn't really have much to say about this. I just think that a lot of people think that the police system alone is the problem. And the problem far supersedes the police station alone. The police station is just, the actionable people that you see in the communities. But the people that make the laws that the police are following, the people that make the codes that they're enforcing, those are not people in the actual police department. The police department is literally just following orders. They're doing what they are told to do. And changing a couple of people, even if it's a third of the police department, that's not going to change the other 2/3. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, I don't want to say to cancel the whole policing department, because you definitely do need some type of disciplinary actions for people who especially intentionally do wrong. However, changing the police force alone will not change the problem, because the laws that are in place support the crazy policing and the racial profiling. So you have to change the laws. But again, when changing the laws, you have to remember that the original people of America were copper skin. So that means that if there are more copper skin original Americans than there are European Americans that came, invaded, and then started being born here, then that does a disadvantage to the European structure of the government. If you really allow people of color to actualize their power, then the European structure that we have right now will eventually get overturned. So if you keep the copper skinned brown people down, if you make them think that they all came from Africa, then nobody has the knowledge or understanding that Moorish Americans, that the original Americans were already here and they still exist in this land. But if you make everybody think that everybody was slaves, that everybody came from Africa that was colored, then it paints the bad picture for the European Americans, who now feel like this is their land, this is their country, when history doesn't teach them that black people was here first. History plays a mind game on them and make them think that white people came and discovered the whole motherfucking place, and that nobody else was here before white people came, and the people that was here was so fucked up that white people had to come and save them by killing everybody. You see how crazy that sounds? But if you're a white American and you are fed this lie, if you're fed this understanding, then guess what? You think that the African people trying to come and take some land that didn't ever belong to them in the first place. So you need to keep them enslaved, because if they ever rise up to the knowledge and understanding that the original American was black, copper skin, then the shift in power will change. The government that reigns supreme in this land doesn't have real rule or ownership of this land. But as long as the copper skinned people, the original Americans, don't know that there were original black copper skinned Americans in this country, then they won't know to say, hey, wait a minute, this belongs to me. I have some rights to this land that does not align with the government's rules that they made in order to keep ownership, in order to keep possession. So when you think about the wars and the rumors of wars and all of that, most of that is simply and only because they're trying to confiscate land and rule the lands of the world. If you get leaders and dictators in all of the lands of the world and they all have the same common mindset, then you're ruling every place. This is why people talk about the banking system and how the Federal Reserve and other larger banking entities try to control the banking, because if you control the banking, then you control the money. If you control the money, then you can control the land. And as long as whoever has the most money is in control of the land, despite the fact that the people that are originally from that place might need to have or have more say so than what is given, when you go over to a new place and you start taking over their shit, the only way that you can continue to take over their shit is by overpowering them, by making them feel less than, by making sure that they do not know their inheritance, by making sure they don't know their connection to the soil. And then if you do all of those things, it's easy to bully them. It's easy to make you feel less than, even though truly they believe and they know how powerful we are as humans in this life, as souls. And I say that because I just feel like if you think that black people, copper skinned people don't feel pain, they don't have emotions, they don't have any of the human qualities, then you believe that black people are superhuman. They can't be of this world. They endure too much pain. They're too strong. They're too fast. They're too intelligent. They're too creative. They're too much of everything that we're not. And the only way to keep them in line is to kill them, instill fear in them, to browbeat them, to make them feel stupid and ignorant, to make them not even know the history of their land. Because if you make them believe that they were all enslaved and they were saved, then guess what? They will seek our Savior. They will bow down. They will listen. They will do whatever we say, because they feel like that, you know, although some white people may enslave them, this other white person is coming to save the day. That person never came. So right now we're in a state of awakening globally. because more information is available, more people can understand history and look at laws and get a better knowledge base on life, and not just go off of what they're told in a unauthentic education system, because the education was structured to paint this picture in your mind about the world, the land, the people. But when you begin to remove all of the dirt, all of the lies, you wash away all those white lies, a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, make more sense to me when you start listening to what it says. You know, a white lie is that you've covered all this black history with white lies to make it look like white history came and just did so much when they came to colonize. And that's not the truth. That's not the total truth. You know, and it's so crazy because white society paints the picture that black people are the way that they inherently are. You know, black people aren't vicious. Black people don't do a lot of the things that they've learned, or they didn't do a lot of things that they learned from white society and white culture. White people beat, rape, kill, massacre, just go against all of human decency and structure. So when you start thinking like that, it gives you a different perspective, and it helps you expand your mindset so that you can help other people come to the understanding, so that we can all grow together. All right, I gotta go. Love you. Bye. Speaking Freedom presents Good Head Group, providing advanced spiritual studies and personal developmental insight. Brought to you by Love Gang and Speaking Freedom. We look forward to helping you grow in all the areas of your life. We hope that you find all the information needed for your growth. God bless. Please listen to all disclaimers provided. If you are currently under physician's care, please maintain that relationship. This is not intended to stop your current treatment plan. If you need physician care, please seek out medical attention. Please note, all results are based on the individual's ability to adapt and adjust to any given environment and situation. We are not responsible for your results at Speaking Freedom. The life enhancement coaches at Speaking Freedom provide information to help you grow. You are responsible for maintaining that growth, taking on and then applying the information to your individual life as you deem needed and necessary. This may contain and explain explicit content. Please use parental discretion. For best results, you will need an open mind, the ability to research, and a balanced lifestyle.
Please join us daily for your inspiration and motivation.
We have the entire world to offer you at your fingertips. Your life enhancement coaching specialist. Thank you for choosing us to assist you in accomplishing your personal and professional goals. And have a beautiful day. In love, we trust. This is brought to you by Good Head Group, Love Gang, and Speaking Freedom. We thank God for you, and we love you.
Hi, I'm Kaci. Dr. Kaci, to be exact, owner of Speaking Freedom LLC, Love Gang, and Good Head Group LLC. I am also a certified life coach and host of Speaking Freedom Radio and TV. Although I have recently became an ordained minister, please be aware that I am still me, raw and uncut the way God made me and allowed life to shape me. I pray and expect God to use me for people who can receive the way I communicate, as well as my delivery. I am not for those who are already saved, religious, or super deep. I am for the leaders, hustlers, and street influencers around the world, including pimps, killers, drug dealers, and working girls. I am sharing my experiences and perspective to help someone be inspired to be better, and for those who can identify with the various aspects of my mindset. My mindset alone does not determine the status of any active connections or current relationships that have not already been specifically addressed. Additionally, these recordings should not be taken personally if I have not already spoken to you about the topic or expressed that I have an issue. These recordings are a part of my life's work to document my experience, perspective, and to see how life has shaped me. My plan in using my stories publicly and socially is to encourage growth in those who can identify with the experiences and find inspiration in my life to heal and overcome the path that they've been set on, no matter what they face, as according to the purpose of their soul, until healing takes place. Despite the experiences that I may have had with any person, sometimes known and unknown, I hold no grudges, no hate, no bitterness, or any other ill feelings against anyone. I pray that your life is whole and very fruitful. I forgive you as I hope that you forgive me if I have wronged you or anyone that you know or anyone who listens to me. I pray that you have peace and extend the same grace to others. I have love for everyone, especially on a human level, despite flaws or experiences. But that doesn't mean that I will associate or be close to every human that I know or meet. I've experienced a very eventful life and truly believe that my mindset and story based on experiences could help those who identify with how I think and are looking for inspiration to grow further, go beyond hurt, and be great. I pray that these recordings bless you and your soul in every way and whatever way God has intended. Sending love and light to all. Thanks for listening. Achieve your dreams.